we're going to make a lasagna from the Black Metal Vegan Chef's cookbook here. It's a really great book. I got this about a year ago and I've only ever tried this recipe from it. And last time I screwed it up really badly. Now, I was inspired to make a lasagna because I was watching a video that was made by Kat from my vegan experiment, and she did a great looking lasagna and she scored it afterwards, so I'm going to attempt to use her scale to score it when it's finished. So let me just show you the page. So here's what the recipe looks like. There's a whole bunch of instructions here. But a lot of his recipes are really good because it involves just chopping up lots of stuff and throwing it in a pan, so it should suit my style of cooking. The mistake I made last time was I tried to pre-cook the lasagna sheets. Didn't realise that you just put these in the dish. So I actually boiled them in water first and I created like a huge mess, so I'm not going to do that this time. But I've got some really good looking vegetables here, like nice fresh tomatoes. Got like mushrooms, red, yellow and green peppers. I have some tahini sauce, which is made from sesame seeds. Some Italian seasoning. Passata. This is not in the recipe, but if it looks too dry, I'm going to use some passata just to moisten it up a bit. I've got some vegan red wine organic red wine from Sainsbury's. I'm also going to add some meat-free mince to the recipe. This wasn't something that was specified in the book. And lastly, I have this cheese sauce from Gusto, which has been in my fridge for like ages and I haven't used it. So if I don't have enough tahini sauce, I'm going to add some of this on it. So now I'm going to chop up the vegetables and then get this stuff in the oven as soon as possible. Okay, so there's the mushrooms done. I'm now going to chop up the peppers. And also chop up this chilli quite small. I'm going to fry these and use these as the basis for the sauce. Right, so now I'm going to put the mushrooms in. Good old stir. Probably turn the heat down a little bit now. I'm going to add in some Italian seasoning. Plenty there. Some garlic. Not sure how much, but yeah, good old blob there. Now I want these peppers to be pretty soft, so this is probably going to take quite a while just to cook down. So while this is happening, I'm going to start doing the tahini sauce. So here's a recipe for the tahini sauce. Last time I made this I didn't make enough, but it asks for 2 or 3 evil spoonfuls of tahini, some lemon juice, some garlic or garlic powder and some salt. So I'm going to chop one of my lemons in half and then I'm going to blend it all together. So here's a nice fresh organic lemon, which smells pretty good. I'm going to use this little blender. Okay. So the tahini's kind of thick. I don't know how much to put in. I'm not sure. It doesn't say what size spoons, so let's see what happens. Let's blob some of this in here. I mean, I'm making pretty big lasagna, so I think I'm going to need quite a bit of this. But I do have the backup of the Gusto cheese sauce if I don't have enough of this. Right then, let's get some juice out of this lemon. As for fresh garlic, which I don't have, well I do, but I just don't like messing about with it because it makes my fingers smell horrible. So I'm going to put a bit more garlic in here, and I'm going to put a bit of sea salt in as well. Okay, so I was supposed to have added some vegetable broth to the vegetables, but it wasn't on the ingredients list here. So this is the point at which I improvise and use the passata. So it's going to give it a nice tomatoey Italian flavour. So let's put about half of this in. So now my vegetables are cooking pretty good. I'm going to add in some of this. See how much. So I'm going to add in about half there. So give it a nice texture for the filling. This stuff, it just really needs heating up a bit, and it needs to just absorb the flavour. So I might just put a bit more red wine in it. I'm sure that'll help. Smells so good. The other thing that I'm going to do that isn't in the recipe is that I'm going to slice up some tomatoes and I'm going to put those on top of the layers, so it should make it nice and juicy. So we'll see how that works out. Today I'm not going to get the pasta bit wrong, so I'm just going to put this straight in the dish. The instructions on the pasta say that you should put a bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan, and then a bit of the sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some olive oil. I'm going to pour a bit of passata in the bottom so it doesn't stick, and then I'm going to lay out these in the dish. I've chopped my tomatoes up and sliced them nicely so I can put them in layers on the layers of the lasagna. And my filling, you probably see here, is looking quite good now, so I think it's time to create the lasagna. So I'm going to switch the hob off and I'm going to start putting filling on here. Not sure how many layers to do. I've got plenty of sauce today at least, so layer number one. I'm now going to put a bit of tahini on it. I was expecting this to be runny, but no. Now it says to just put this tahini on every other layer, so I'm going to put like a little bit on here, and I'm probably going to resort to using the Regusto cheese sauce, providing it's okay, seeing as it has been in the fridge for some time. I'm maybe just going to try one of these. So there's a couple of tubes of this in the pack. I'm going to just take the top off it and taste it and make sure it's okay, because I should have used it like months ago. Now it tastes good, so I'm going to use that. Let's put a bit of that on there then. I think that's going to be much easier to spread. And I'm going to put a bit of this on the top as well. I need to use my phone, so I need to stop recording so I can check what 350 degrees Fahrenheit is in Celsius. Okay, so 350 degrees is about roughly 175 degrees Celsius, so let's do that next. Preheat the oven. So the final product before going in the oven looks like this. I'm definitely going to put some tin foil over it to stop it drying out. I'll probably leave it on for 20-25 minutes and then take it off for the last 5 or 10 minutes just so it crisps a little on the top. So after I've put this in, I'm going to watch Kat's video again and check what her dimensions of lasagna goodness were. I know the last one was deliciousness. I can't remember what the first two were, so I need to check so that we can at least score on the same scale. The oven's preheated now, and I just reviewed Kat's video, and so we're scoring this lasagna on moistness, cheesiness and deliciousness. So I'm going to put it in now for 30 minutes and I hope it's going to be good. So the timer's set, the food's cooking, 30 minutes, just enough time for me to go and watch EastEnders and have a glass of this nice wine. Layer of the lasagna. Yeah, not these bits of pasta. This is not good. But I reckon what's underneath it is probably going to be okay, so I'm going to try and dish it out on the plate now, and then we'll see what Francisco thinks about it. This is not an artistic looking plate of food, but the middle piece, the pasta on the top, was okay. So I'm going to give this one to Francisco and we'll see what he thinks about it. The piece that I've got, the top bit was like not good, so I've just taken that piece of pasta off But we'll see how it tastes. I'm going to go into the living room now and I'm going to film his reaction if he doesn't object too much. Good. I'm not going to get your face if you don't want to be in the video. Is it moist? I know the bit on the top's a bit shit and it's not very moist. But if you ignore that bit and go under.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how moist is it?
Like 9 moist.
A 9 out of 10 for moistness, okay? Cheesiness. Does it have a taste of cheesiness to it?
Not really.
No cheesiness.
Right. Something.
What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
5.
5 out of 10. And overall deliciousness?
9.
How much then? What would you score it?
7.
A 7 out of 10. Okay? That's good. So moistness, I've taken the top layer off mine because it was just like a flipping crisp. It was useless. The bottom layers are moist. Cheesiness, yeah, there's not, even though I put the tahini and the no moo for gusto sauce on it, it's not got a lot of cheesiness to it. A little bit, yeah, for argument Francisco on a 5 out of 10. And I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10 on overall deliciousness because it's nice, juicy, and it's got lots of different flavours in it. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to pour myself another bottle of wine and I'm going to eat the rest of it because it's good.